Wardell Stephen Curry, the greatest shooter of all time and the man responsible for an all-time Olympic show, just secured his first gold medal in peak Steph Curry fashion. And after a game where he absolutely lit Serbia up and was without a doubt the MVP of that game, who could have thought he would top that performance the very next game? You see, all Olympics long, tons of people were wondering why Steph Curry continued to be in the starting lineup despite him struggling to shoot at a consistent level. Well, this is exactly why. Steph Curry has this unique ability to catch fire in a way that not many stars can.
He comes in and picks up where everybody else left off.
Oh, Steph's 5 for 5!
Well, on your side, that's how you're getting a tiny bit of separation. Oh, my goodness.
Come on! 6 for 6!
And it's this ability alongside his off-ball gravity that makes him an elite threat, capable of putting games out of reach in the blink of an eye. From the start of the group play up until the start of the Serbia game, we never really saw the Steph Curry that we usually see, and more specifically the one everyone wanted to see. But when the moment was the biggest, not only did he show up, but he was the hero of those moments. And to see guys like LeBron James and Kevin Durant sit back and let Steph take over was peak cinema. But this wasn't the first time Team USA would see France on an international stage. Prior to these Olympics, France and the United States matched up in the gold medal game in Tokyo, and in a similar fashion we saw Kevin Durant be the guy that took over the game. Obviously not in the exact same fashion, but to see Steph Curry take on the 2020 Kevin Durant role and go out and get the medal he's been seeking was an awesome sight to see. But unlike the Serbia game, Team USA hadn't had the opportunity to play this France team prior to the real thing. Against Serbia, they had an idea of what to expect and got to test out lineup combinations, strategies, or whatever they needed to do to secure a win and advance to the gold medal game. And that strategy just so happened to be give Steph Curry the ball and let him shoot it. However, France is a completely different team, and the same game plan isn't guaranteed to have the same result. France was well armed with some formidable size with the twin towers of Victor Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert, although Gobert's best highlight was, well, interesting. Wemby, on the other hand, definitely provided some struggle for Team USA. For pretty much every game the United States had played throughout the exhibition games and up until the gold medal game, zone defense wasn't really used, and if it was on a rare occasion. But France made the most of Wemby's size and the no defensive 3-second rule by running a zone with Wemby down in the middle of the paint. The zone kept the United States somewhat stagnant and very perimeter based, which honestly would be a win for France if they were playing any other team. Team USA has guys that can knock down perimeter shots and force a team out of a zone, and that's what eventually happened. Most of the time with Wemby as the solo big, France was sitting in either a 2-3 or 3-2 zone, both with Wemby either in the middle or one of the two bottoms. However, in the second half, specifically in the fourth quarter, those zones turned into straight up man, with occasional reckless doubles that led to wide open dunks or threes. The zone was France's biggest advantage as it had the potential to limit what Team USA could do, but they were forced into switching to man towards the end, and it was significantly harder for them to guard Team USA straight up versus guarding an area. And I think we all saw why in the final Steph Curry minutes. But before we get into that, like we always do, let's start from the beginning. Starting off with the first quarter, both teams honestly played somewhat even. Both sides were hitting shots, getting stops, and all the other typical basketball actions. A completely different start compared to the Serbia game where the United States looked like they weren't playing with the same level of heart. But from the start, you could tell Wemby was there to play. He started off the game very aggressive and was getting his offense in early. But despite the young phenom's scoring, France would find themselves down by 5 heading into the second quarter. In multiple games prior to this gold medal matchup, the second quarter was the time Team USA was able to create massive separation between themselves and the opposing team. But unlike the past games, the separation was not massive, but there was some separation made. In the second quarter, Team USA started to break down the zone by hitting some outside shots and attacking in transition before the zone even had a chance to set up. But by the end of another quarter filled with back and forth, the United States would find themselves in a similar situation as games prior, a lead at halftime. However, this time it was not a double-digit lead. Heading into the third quarter up by 8, the United States would begin to take advantage of the zone being gone, and France was still keeping up with their pace, and actually surpassing their pace, winning the quarter by 2 points. But most of the reason for this third quarter loss was Team USA becoming their own worst enemy. They started resorting to their history of sloppy turnovers, committing 7 of 12 total turnovers at that time, and France took advantage of every mistake the United States made. But with the final quarter finally arriving, the United States are left in a give-it-all-you-got situation with a very handy 6-point safety net. France would not go away as they would continue to keep within striking distance and even manage to shrink the deficit down to just 3 points. But with 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the game, Steph Curry would activate his takeover. Steph would knock down not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 threes in about 2 minutes and 11 seconds of game time. 12 of the last 16 points were scored by Steph Curry alone. And not only was he scoring the majority of the closing points, but he fully closed out the game, even managing to get a block at the very end. After seeing Steph Curry go through his illustrious career, winning championships, MVPs, scoring titles, 3-point contests, finals MVP, becoming the greatest shooter of all time, there was one thing missing, a gold medal. And for him to go out there and not only help the United States get that medal, but to be the one to close out the game and claim the gold was a full circle moment. Seeing him struggle to adjust to Olympic basketball and comments flying around questioning if he should even be starting anymore, and then Steph going on a heater in the gold medal game saying, "Don't worry about me," is the ultimate what they gon' say now sequel.
What are they gonna say now? What are they gonna say now?
The United States made 18 total threes and 8 of them were from Steph Curry alone. LeBron James once again did his part with an all-around game. Kevin Durant was hitting tough shots, Anthony Davis was making a huge impact off the bench, and Devin Booker once again being an all-around great role player, scoring when he was needed, playing defense when it was needed, and simply just constantly hustling. This was most likely the last time we will ever see Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant on the same team, considering each of their ages. But to witness all of these incredible moments, especially these last 2 games, was something we will never forget. But anyways guys, what do you think about Team USA's Olympic run? Was this everything you were hoping for, and what was your favorite moment from these Olympics? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.